Then, thank you. We are recording this so that the people who will not be able to join can follow the proceedings. Yeah, so from 1st October, we will open the window for the submission of the different entries. So people will have 20 days to submit their various submissions. And the deadline for that will be on 20th October. So the 20th of October is the deadline when people should submit their various entries. Then hopefully the winner will be announced on 22nd November. That is during RCMRD's Conference of Ministers that will be held in Kampala, Uganda, later in the year. So currently we have 24 countries that will be participating in this competition. So the countries are from up north, from Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, we have Rwanda, we have Tanzania, we have Zambia, Angola, Namibia, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Mauritius, Comoros, Seychelles, Zimbabwe, as well as Malawi and Mozambique. So those are the 24 countries that will be participating in this competition. And again, the objective is to really promote the use of Earth observation and to see how do we create an awareness to some of the data sharing geoportals and observatories that we have in our region. There is quite a lot of data sets that are available, and we would want to see how do people creatively use this information to develop innovative solutions. So the competition, I should emphasize that it is not a competition for geographers or GIS people. It's really for people who have a passion for creating maps. And in the 4-month window that we shall be having for the competition, we'll be sharing with you ways and means in which you can create different products based on the data sets that we shall have available. So anyone who is passionate about creating maps is definitely welcome to participate in this competition. In terms of the award prizes, we have 4 award prizes. We have 4 award prizes. So the first category is on forestry and protected areas as well as wildlife. So the total price tag there is 2,000 euros. That is the first category. Then we have a category for marine, oceans, as well as coastal information. That is actually, it caters for countries which are under the Indian Ocean region, as well as the ones which are bordering or they have a border with the ocean. So the price tag there again is 2,000 euros. Then we do have a category for land degradation, wetlands, and conservation. That is going to have also a price tag of 2,000 euros. Then we shall have a People's Choice Award, which is the overall winner that will be made up of, that will have about 4,000 euros. And the winner will be voted by people based on the 5 best entries that will be identified by the judges. Let me repeat that. So the judges will identify 5 best entries, and then we'll open a poll. We'll open a poll where people will vote for the best entry, and the 5 best entries will get a chance to present their work to the various online participants or audience. And in doing so, people will be able to vote, and they will decide which one will take the overall winner for RCMRD's Map Competition 2022 edition. Additionally to those 4 prizes that I've mentioned, all the 4 winners will receive a 1-year Esri ArcGIS license that they can use and they can take advantage of. In terms of the criteria for identifying the winning entries, we have identified about 5 of them. We'll not go into details, but I'll just mention them in brief. So we are looking at the first criteria is that it has to be map centric. It's a map competition, so we definitely need to have a map, and that map can be perhaps be highlighting a specific topic or creating an awareness of a specific problem, or it's trying to provide a solution to a specific thing that is challenging people. So that is the first criteria. Then the other criteria is on the design layout. There has to be a good flow of the map in terms of the text, in terms of the graphics, in terms of the figures or tables that you will be having. It has to, the layout has to be nice. Then the map has to be visually appealing in terms of the colors that you use, in terms of the grammar, the punctuation, the use of symbology. So we would also want very nice and appealing maps. Then we also would want the map to communicate effectively. So the product that you submit has to have effective communication in terms of clearly outlining what exactly are you trying to indicate in the entry that you have submitted. It has to be creative, it has to be original, and it has to be presented in a nice manner. Then the last criteria is that it has to demonstrate effective use of geographical information in terms of the data sets that will be shared. And actually, the map that you create or the product that you create, it has to have at least 2 data sources from the data sets that we have listed in the next section. So that is the criteria that we shall use for the judging. Just to give people an idea of some of the data sources or data sets that are available, we have put links where you can get information from. They include the RCMRD Open Data Portal, we have the Protected Planet, we have the Ocean Data Viewer, we have the Africa Geoportal, we have the OFESA Geoportal that deals with forestry. We also have the GMS and Africa Geoportal that has a lot of information. So what we'll require is that all submitted entries must use at least 2 of those 2 data sets. And if you have any other data sets from other data sources, you are also welcome to share that. So this will also be communicated towards the deadline of the submission in terms of how do you indicate which data sets you are using. So that will be communicated much later. So in terms of the submission formats, we are looking at 4 ways in which we can have the submissions. The first format is through a web map. So you can submit your entry in form of a web map. So the web map can be a combination of several data sets that you have put, and it's addressing a specific theme. The other category that will also allow submission is through a story map. So if you are having a story map and you want to communicate using it, that is going to be allowed. Then you can also submit using a data dashboard. So a data dashboard is also very interesting. And then also the 4th category is through a map application. So all these 4 categories, we will have specific webinars and schedules that we will highlight. What do we mean when we say a web map, a story map, a data dashboard, or a map application? And the dates that we shall be having these webinars or sensitizations are indicated in the website. One of them is on 24th of August, actually this month. Then we shall have another one on 14th September and another one on 28th September. So these will be technical sessions where we'll highlight how do you come up with various, some of these various submission formats and how do you go about that. The platform that we shall be using for the map competition is ArcGIS Online, and we shall be using the Africa Geoportal. So you will be required to sign up and use that particular account in this particular competition. So even if you do not win in the competition, you get the advantage of having a license that you can utilize when you are working with it. So also to appreciate the participating projects and the partners who are behind this initiative, specifically the 3 projects that have spearheaded this map competition. We have BioPAMA, that is Biodiversity and Protected Area Management. We also have the GMS and Africa, that is supported by the African Union Commission. We also have the OFESA project that is supported by the EU, as well as the Center for International Forest Research. So that is really a quick and small overview of the map competition. We'll definitely get sessions and other upcoming events where we can get into more details in terms of the formats of submission, in terms of what we are required to share. But for now, I would want to stop there. And I would like us to go to the next agenda item that looks at the some of the remarks from the participating institutions. and we will hear from RCMRD first. DG RCMRD, you can share with us some comments.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for the introduction. Good morning, good afternoon. I guess none of us is in the night on the continent. To everybody who's attending, welcome to this webinar. I really wish to appreciate you taking the time to come and join. I should first of all congratulate Ngugi and team for coming up with this innovative idea of holding a map competition across the 24 countries that have been listed and mentioned by Ngugi. As you know, RCMRD, our motto is mapping for sustainable development. So we live by mapping. Mapping is our mission and it's our work. So having a competition of this nature and being able to draw in like-minded institutions like AUC, EU, C4, ESRI, and others is much appreciated. So as far as we are concerned, we want to use this opportunity through you, the people who are going to be in this competition, to really promote and the awareness and make people understand the power of a map. You know, virtually everything we do, it starts from knowing where it is before you can be able to undertake any planning or any activity on it. So this competition that cuts across a number of programs that are supported by different partners is an excellent opportunity. So I can only encourage all the people with the creative ideas following the guidelines provided by Ngugi to really come forth. This is just a start, and we want to assure you that there will be more initiatives of the same kind, given the kind of response we are getting from you. So let me encourage you, we will continue supporting every program that promotes the mapping of our resources. So finally, let me thank once again our partners. EU specifically, who cut across a number of our programs, whether it's the OFESA project, whether it's the BioPharma, they're involved at providing the resources that we are using to do interesting things in the different project beneficiary countries. Let me also thank our partners from IUCN, JRC, who at the technical level are our partners on these EU-funded projects. C4 has been our partner on forest resource mapping for a number of years. So we wish to appreciate that you are together with us in this very program for promoting the products we get from our work. Because we invest a lot of energy, we invest a lot of resources in developing these products. But unless these products are utilized by our countries, by our people, then they remain really pure academic exercises. So this is part of the awareness creation, dissemination, so that people really demystify the map and they can be able to utilize it for different activities. So I wish to encourage everybody. I haven't mentioned the RCMC, who are also partners in the BioPharma project. I also wish to thank you for being partners in this undertaking. So I really didn't have anything specific apart from telling you that you are the mapping people. This is our competition. Let us draw in as many people as possible and make sure we promote the power that the map still provides in terms of understanding our resources and how best we can plan for them. RCMRD will set up for that and will always be there to support initiatives of this nature. So with those words, I wish to encourage everybody. This is going to be clear, transparent process, and I hope the best map, the winner, as I said, will be announced in Kampala. Every 2 years, the ministers in charge of mapping in our 20 member states meet together with permanent secretaries and heads of mapping agencies. This time it's going to be in Kampala. It's a grand occasion at which the winner of this competition is going to be announced, and I hope to be an inspiration to our ministers, the political heads, to go and take seriously the work that comes from the mapping exercises we undertake. So thank you very much once again, our partners and those representing them on this platform. I wish to end my remarks there and wish everybody the best of luck as we enter the competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DG RCMRD. We'll hear from the Director General of Center for International Forest Research, CIFOR. Over to you, Robert.
Thank you, Ngugi. I think it's very interesting to see this competition because we have many existing data platform and observatory, but they need to learn from each other and they need to be used in synergy. OFESA, for example, is currently collaborating with BioPAMA to the Regional Resource Hub, is hosted by the RCMRD. We have identified various areas of collaboration, capacity building, technical interoperability. But the question is that if people are not using this, it is not very useful. So for the observatory to be of any value, they need to be used. And hence, we need to create an awareness of these things exist and make this available repository accessible to the different users. And it is very interesting to see this map competition because it creates a wider awareness. It creates a group of people that have used. It will hopefully generate some ideas and feedback for us in terms of how can we improve, how can we make our collaboration better, how can we make our platform more accessible, how can we provide better data or better information. And so I think it's very important. And if we want data to inform decision making, we need platforms that are accessible to the decision maker, and we need people that use this platform to translate this data in terms of decision-making documents, and because decision makers don't necessarily read very long document, but maps can say a lot of things in a very short document. So I think to paraphrase the Baron de Coubertin, it's like for the Olympic Games, what is important is to participate more than to win. And so good luck to everybody and looking forward for the result of the competition. Back to you, Ngugi.
Thank you very much, Robert, for those remarks. We'll hear from from Christine Menzel from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, that is IUCN. She's also part of the BioPAMA project that is supporting this initiative. Over to you, Christine.
Thanks, Ngugi. Good morning, everybody. It's a great honor to be with you this morning, and we in BioPAMA and also as IUCN are very excited about this map competition. Even though IUCN's sort of role is really working more in convening and on the policy level, as you know, the BioPAMA project is intended to make the link in particular between knowledge and action. And so from that perspective, we've been working with RCMRD in setting up the observatory for protected and conserved areas. And the way IUCN uses these products is exactly, as was referred to by both of the previous speakers as well, to really try and visualize for decision makers what is happening, what's changing, what progress is made on the ground, and to enable and inform discussions. So as you may know, BioPAMA's tagline is also from knowledge to action. And that is exactly what we are looking to this kind of competition and the kind of work that all of you that work in mapping and producing story maps and important knowledge products that visualize changes, we look to you to produce effective tools that we can use at the decision-making level and to help decision makers to better understand what they're looking at. So we're very excited about this, and we do hope to see many very interesting products that one, of course, are part of the competition, but also that we will be able to use going forward in the work that we do. And so for us in particular, we're obviously looking at protected areas in particular, protected and conserved areas in particular, looking at progress we're making towards global biodiversity goals on this, and anything that can help us to visualize this is really useful for us. So I'm going to leave it at that with a little bit of inspiration as to focus for your maps and products that you're going to be submitting, and look forward to seeing what comes out of it. Thank you very much, Ngugi. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Christine, for that. Appreciate that. We'll also hear from one of the other partners we have in Biopharma, that is from the European Union Joint Research Center. Over to you, Steve.
Good morning. Thank you, Ngugi. Hi, everybody. And it's a real honor and a pleasure to be part of this launch of this map competition. I hope I'm meeting one of the criteria for the competition, being map-centric today. I'm even wearing a map in honor of the occasion. I'd like to thank RCMRD and all the partners involved in launching this. I think, as others have said, by having this objective of producing a map, it's going to bring us together and really look at using and interacting across all these different sources of information in the portals and resources that have been mentioned. Because we work on Biopharma, which is biodiversity and protected areas, we're delighted that conservation and protected areas are amongst the themes, and we're looking forward to seeing some excellent examples which use the outputs of some of the projects that we're working on and supporting from the Joint Research Centre in the region. So perhaps as a cartographer myself, as a GIS person, although GIS, as we heard, is not the main objective, it's not meant to be so technical, this competition. It's about using the creativity that we all have and trying to communicate that through a map. And perhaps just some advice from my side, or some thoughts about how to go about this. The first thing is to really think about what it is you want to say with the map. Come up with something compelling and then build a map around that. Be concise, less is more. Avoid the temptation to put lots of data. Try and keep it simple, but be creative as well in the process. And that's not a technical skill. That's something where, regardless of the technology, creativity will always shine through. Take inspiration. There are many, many resources online in printed form. So don't be afraid to take from previous work, but also be original. And if I may, I was feeling very mappy today. So I've been looking through some of the examples we have, like this atlas that we produced on global surface water at JRC. There are many, many of these things. And I've got this fantastic book on cartography as well that I'd like to dip into to give me some ideas. So there's lots of material online to help you and to guide you through this process. Most importantly, of course, all the data. So there are no excuses about not having access to data, all those wonderful open data sources with RCMRD at the core. So if it's Earth observation, you have all the Copernicus imagery and derived data. You have OpenStreetMap, and you have that conduit through RCMRD to all the regional data that are available. So just remember that although we're talking about dashboards and story maps, at the heart of that, a map, a good map, can tell a really good story on its own. So I wish you good luck in coming up with those ideas. Again, I think it's a fantastic initiative. I'm very excited about it and looking forward to seeing the results. So all the best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve, and thank you for those tips. And I definitely, your chat is map centric. I'm not so sure if it qualifies to be in one of the submission formats, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for that. So we'll hear from Meshach Kenywa. He represents the African Union Commission. They are supporting the MAP initiative, MAP competition initiative through the GMS and Africa project. Over to you, Meshach.
Thank you, Ngugi, and my regards to all the previous speakers. I just want to start by congratulating all the participants today and telling them that the first process of winning is by participating. So congratulations in advance. Well, to RCMRD, thank you so much for inviting us to this occasion. I just want to quickly have a recap of why we are participating in this event today. As you know, AUC has developed what we call the African Space Strategy and the policy that are guiding instruments for the African Outer Space Program. And they are focusing on 4 main domains. One is satellite communication. The second one is Earth observation, which is the subject matter of this day. And then we have navigation and positioning. We also have astronomy and space sciences. And subsequently, we have formed the African Space Agency as the implementing institution for this strategy. And in the EO domain, concurrently, African Union Commission is leading the global monitoring for the environment and security in Africa, which is GMES in Africa, one of the partners in this project. And we have done with the first phase, and the second phase is ongoing. And I'm happy to say that RCMRD is leading in both phases as one of the 8 consortia that have been selected by African Union Commission, with partnership from JRC, European Union, European Space Agency, among others. GMS in Africa is actually joint project or a joint program between African Union Commission and European Union, addressing Earth observation applications in marine and coastal areas applications, as well as water natural resources management. Now, as you know, we have also what we call the Agenda 2063, which African Space Strategy is addressing. And we have been emphasizing on user-centric services in GMS in Africa and in the space program. And this is why this important occasion becomes core of what we are doing, because we are looking from the user perspective and not generally from the technology point of view. We are not, in other words, we are not pushing the technology, but we are addressing the real needs that the users have. Now, 15 applications have been operationalized through GMS in Africa Phase 1, over 15 to be precise. And all the applications that are being addressed in this particular map competition actually are integral to the GMS in Africa program. RCMRD, as I said, is leading one of the 8 consortia in this process. And the competition we are supporting because we have 4 main pillars. We have 6 main pillars, but I think what is convenient for this map competition, about 4 of them. I see that Gugi has emphasized on the map centric, which is actually the data itself, and infusion of that data to produce services that can speak to the users. We also have what we call the service development, which actually can be addressed by the same map. And we also have the what we call the communication and raising awareness, in other words, to bring all the community of users together, and also to make sure that the users are utilizing this data. I just want to echo the speaker from JRC who said that if we produce massive amount of data and it's not being used by anyone, then it becomes useless. But the core thing in this competition is to ensure that we have usage of this information, and that is why effective communication as one of the criteria that Gugi mentioned is actually making more sense to us in GMS in Africa. One thing that we have been emphasizing is that we should start from the end and then come to the beginning, as we always do in many space projects. In other words, you start with the users, then asking yourself what particular problem or challenge are you addressing? And then you form around that at the core of it, and you come up with what kind of data sets you need, what kind of maps you need to produce, what kind of products and services you need to produce from the same. So I just want to appreciate RCMRD, the DG. We want to congratulate you from the African Union Commission, Gugi and your team and all the partners involved in this project. We want to congratulate you for bringing, again, this community of mappers together. And I believe this will be one of the starting points to ensure that we have a community of practice on how we form services or we form products in the future. And I believe that all the data sets that have been provided on the website that I have seen, including the GMS in Africa web portal or the Geo portal, and also other Geo portals that RCMRD has provided, it's good enough to kickstart the competition and to ensure that we work as teams. Well, one other thing that we emphasize is always to work in cohesion. As you are competing, just ensure that you're also part of teams and you add value to one another, and make sure that the data that we are providing is actually transformed into useful services and useful maps that can be easily interpreted and reusable. I want to thank you and to congratulate all of you, and I submit Gugi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Meshach from the AUC Commission for those nice inspirational comments. We'll hear from Lorraine. She's from ESRI, one of the long-standing partners that RCMRD has, and not just RCMRD, but the other participating institution as well. Over to you, Lorraine.
Hi, Ngogi, thank you very much. I just have a couple of slides I wanted to share just to get us going, because I'm a visual person. I really like to have visuals as part of what we're doing. So thank you very much for inviting us today and being part of this fantastic presentation. My name is Lauren Innes. I'm Business Development Manager for Esri, and it's really an honor to be part of this initiative. Together with all these great partners that we have here in the room. Just bear with me one moment while I share my screen. Don't want to take too much time away from everybody today. So really excited about this map competition and what it will bring and what all of you will be providing here during the next few months. It's also really great to hear about the really large number of participants that we have already, and I'm expecting there's many more that will sign up in the next few weeks as well. So conserving lands and managing biodiversity and maintaining biodiversity is increasingly more difficult, as we all know. Even more so if we take into account the climate change and the effects of climate change on what we're already doing and trying to do. So we really strongly feel that mapping, analyzing, and understanding these ecological challenges is becoming increasingly more crucial. So we at Esri really strongly believe that the geographic approach can help us with solving these challenges. And the geographic approach is really a way of thinking and problem solving that integrates geographic science and information into how we manage and understand the planet. And most of you are actually already doing this, right? Creating maps, looking at data, etc. And GIS really enables that geographic approach and helps us with collecting the field observations, organizing and managing data, visualizing and analyzing data. And although we provide data sources as part of this mapping competition, you are also free to go out and collect your own information as well and bring that to the table. And I think that's very much encouraged. So also monitoring and modeling the current state, what we're doing right now with GIS technology and in general on these platforms. But we're also using these platforms and the data to look back at the past, to learn from the past, but also to forward and model the future through modeling and forecasting. But ultimately, what we're all trying to do here during this map competition is to create actionable information that can help us with decision making, and trying to foster this collaboration between all these entities that is really required between all of us to come up and solve these challenges that we're facing today. But the most powerful tool actually that we have is you as the powerful community of conservationists. You that can provide us with these shared actionable information products in the forms of data sets, web maps, apps, and story maps that can really help us tackle these ecological challenges that we're facing today. So really looking forward to hearing what you can and seeing what you can provide during this mapping competition, utilizing all the tools and all the data sources that are and have been made available through the various portals that we'll get on later on in this conversation. So from us at Esri, we wish you all happy mapping and we really look forward to what you will be producing. Thank you very much, Ngogi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lorraine, for that, and also for sharing overview of the map competition. It's very much appreciated. We'll hear from one of the other partners that we work closely under Biopama. That is the World Conservation Monitoring Center. We have Jasmine. Please, over to you, Jasmine.
Thanks, Ngogi. Hello, everyone. I'm very delighted to be here with you all today and to see so many people online and many familiar names as well. So that's really exciting. And to be here for the launch of this very exciting competition. So yes, my name is Jasmine Upton and I work on the Protected Planet Initiative at the UN Environment Programme World Conservation Monitoring Center. So we're one of the sources that are available to be used in this competition. But I absolutely echo the words of my fellow panelists. Not only will this competition help to raise awareness of the huge breadth of useful data sets and platforms that are available to support conservation and decision making, but it will also demonstrate just how valuable and informative data and geospatial data can be when it's brought together. So through the Protected Planet website, which is linked on the map competition page, you'll be able to access and download spatial data on the world's protected and conserved areas. This data is collected from hundreds of data providers across the world, including governments, NGOs, and communities. And we work to collect it with the support of the BioPalmer program. So with the support of RCMRD and all BioPalmer partners through its regional resource hub. And for us, data on protected and conserved areas really comes alive when it's communicated through maps. When you overlay protected and conserved area data with other aspects of biodiversity, you can see the benefits that protected and conserved areas are providing. But also when you look at it on a bigger scale, on a regional scale, you can see how well we're doing, how well connected it is, how well it's protecting biodiversity, ecosystem services, all of these various elements. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the competition entries. Good luck to everybody who's participating. And then from all of the Protected Planet team, we'd like to thank our partners and our friends at RCMRD and all of the partners involved in this competition for the coordination and hard work in setting it up, and give our thanks for including the Protected Planet initiative.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jasmine, for that. The last speaker was a representative from the European Union Kenya delegation, called a person called Thomas. Unfortunately, he's having technical challenges. If he joins, we'll give him some few minutes to share some remarks as well. But we'll switch gears to the third part of the agenda, where we'll hear from Pauline, and she'll be talking about the Africa Geoportal, which is really the platform that we shall be using for submitting the various entries for the map competition. Over to you, Pauline.
Thank you, Ngogi. Hi, everyone. So I'll just share my screen so that we could start the walkthrough. Please confirm if you could see my screen, Ngogi.
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, as Ngogi mentioned, Esri will be providing the platform that will be used for participation in the mapping competition. And just starting from the competition page, I'd like to cover some of the data sources that Ngogi had mentioned. That's mainly pegged on Africa Geoportal, as well as submission formats. And I know some of you have already gotten the chance to go through it. So if you haven't gotten the chance, please just go ahead and start going through it. And one of the things that should be required if you don't already have an account on Africa Geoportal is to sign up for an account. So if you click here from the competition page, which will be shared, you may be required to enter some information to create your account. So it's a very easy account to create. And again, it's at no cost. It's a resource that's available for everyone who will be participating in the conference, as well as in the competition, as well as any other person who would like to make use of content available for Africa. So you can put in your details as well as use your social media accounts to be able to create an account for Africa Geoportal. So just to start, Africa Geoportal is a platform that combines many functions of providing access to data on Africa, providing access to tools that allow you to interact with this data. That's the aspect of visualization, analysis, and sharing out information as information products. And finally, we also provide learning resources that can help you learn how to make use of the spatial data and how to make use of the tools to be able to unearth underlying information on this data. And one of the ways that we're able to support a number of communities across Africa is through events such as this one. So getting to Africa Geoportal is just by going to africageoportal.com, and from there you can access content that's available in traditional geospatial formats. So we've been able to work with a number of agencies from different countries to have country-specific portals, which you can explore when you have time, as well as work with a number of partners who I'm glad to see a number of them are also part of this competition. And these partners have provided access to content, such as imagery through our partnership with organizations such as Digital Earth Africa, data specifically on demographic information such as grade 3. And I saw that Steve had mentioned African Knowledge Platform, who have been able to create a lot of content around Africa, and we've just linked to the knowledge platform. So just looking at RCMRD as the main host for this particular competition, we can just try to explore this particular site within Africa GeoPortal, but you can also explore all the other sites as I've mentioned. So if you click on that link on RCMRD, you'll be navigated to the sub-site within Africa GeoPortal for RCMRD. And from there, definitely you can see information on the competition, but you can see all these other data sets that they have. So from this platform, you're able to search for data, either through the search bar here, or you can come and explore your data from, or any other data from the global navigation menu here. So for example, if I was to search for data and maybe looking at biodiversity, the result I get will be from this page which can allow me to be able to explore this information and see if it's fit for use for the kind of thing I'm interested in. So for example, looking at something that you'll be interested in for the competition, you can try to explore this information just to filter the results by date, or you can also filter this information by category. So if you're just mainly looking at environmental data, we can see this information that has been filtered based on that. So for example, I'd be interested in looking at the forest type for Kenya, looking at this particular data set. So again, if I click on this, it launches a page which allows me to further look at this data. So this is very map-centric in that we are using the map as a main interface for interaction with this spatial data. So you can click on a particular section or a particular feature, and you get more details about it on the pop-up. But beyond that, you're also able to look at the table if that's something of interest, just to get a general understanding of the data set. You're able to filter the data in case you only want something that fits a particular criteria, you can be able to do that. So for example, if I'm looking at a particular forest type, then I'd be interested in natural forest. If I click on that, you can see it's very responsive on the map, and it filters out all the other information that may not be necessary. If I'm interested, for example, again, just on plantation forest, you can see that would be filtered out and so on. Beyond that, in case you're interested in having this data accessible in another platform, then you'd be able to download this information, either as the total data set or just the filtered information. And you can download it in various formats based on the platform that you'd like to use to probably further explore and analyze this information. But the best part with Africa GeoPortal, as being the platform that you use for the competition as well as building your capacity, is you'll be able to create a map directly from here, create a story map, which is one of the submission platforms, or use it in any other way. So for example, if I opted to use it in ArcGIS Online, which is the back end with the mapping tools tied to Africa GeoPortal, I'd be able to load this same data set within a map. So the map is the canvas that you'll be able to use to add your data, be able to change the style of this information. For example, if I just want to see quickly how this information looks like based on the different categories, I'd be able to see that, or you can see where the natural forest is, where the plantations are, bamboo, and so on. But beyond that, still on the map making aspect, I can be able to choose a base map that would be well suited to highlight my information or provide the relevant context to what I'm trying to show on the map, as well as do any analysis that would enrich the information on display and so on. So for example, if I'm interested in creating buffers, maybe to see what will be the zones for enhanced protection of some of these areas, then I'll be able to run analysis tools on Africa GeoPortal to create the buffers and so on. So as a user on Africa GeoPortal, other than being able to create the map, you have access to the tools or the submission formats that Ngugi had mentioned. So you can have the story maps, you can build dashboards, and you can use other app templates that we have to be able to create your final output for submission for the competition. Some of the questions we've seen being highlighted are you able to add your own data in case you might not have the relevant or the required data already within some of the data sources we've mentioned? Yes, you can. So we've also provided you with a way to manage your content from Africa GeoPortal, where you can add your own data set, meeting various formats. So it could be a data layer, or it could be something in imagery format, or it could be something in 3D format. So you'll be able to add that information, but still from here, you're able to access data also from other sources and so on, including the Living Atlas, which is also an additional source of data. So just again, I liked what Steve had suggested in terms of also taking advantage of what has already been done. So I would recommend, as a starting point, before we actually get to more engagement, as Ngugi had mentioned, we'll have webinars which you can show you how to do some of these things. So you can already start exploring some of the resources or galleries of work that people have done. So for example, for story maps, you could have a look at the gallery, and you can filter this information maybe by nature and physical science, and you can already start having a look at how people have been able to use story maps to provide, to create or to give a narrative on a conservation story. So an example is this one on wetlands of the world, whereby if we see, we get that story for different wetlands and so on. And they've basically used a web scene to be able to navigate to different parts of the world to explore how the wetlands look like and what could be a major threat to some of these wetlands and so on. So that's an example of a tool you could use. You could use a dashboard. And again, if you go to the gallery, you'll be able to access some of this information. Again, you filter by topic, and you can see some information based on that. So an example of a dashboard is this one on biodiversity indicators within an urban population. And you can see that it's quite interactive in that if I click on a particular indicator level, you can see which areas actually are on that level and what will be this information based on different kinds of vegetation and so on. And finally, an example is Experience Builder, which again is also a submission format that is being used for the competition, which you can take advantage of. And one of the amazing outputs from this is an example of an app which looks at different indicators across the world, which could also be a source of information. So for example, if you're looking at conservation indicators globally, you can see it's using a data source from one of our partners for this competition. You're able to get information on conservation. And here we just have a very basic, but again, very intuitive or very informative map on the different protected areas across Africa. And we can see where there's a concentration, where maybe probably there needs to be enhanced protection and so on. Finally, again, this is something we will cover during our interaction. We have learning resources available, which can help you to start out learning how to create maps. And we have this information available based on your level of comfort with making maps. So if you're very new to this, we have lessons that will be available to you. But you also, if you want to apply a bit of analysis, you also have lessons tied to that. And you'll see some of these lessons are as short as 20 minutes, which can give you the starting point to how can you start making maps and how can you start working on your submission for the competition. So thank you. I look forward to interacting with all of you, all the registered participants during the webinars and any other opportunity we can to help you prepare a wonderful map for a submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pauline, for that overview of the Africa GeoPortal platform, as well as the various submission formats that we shall be looking at from the web maps, story maps, the data dashboards, as well as the map applications. As I had indicated earlier, we will have technical sessions where we'll go a bit in depth into all those 4 submission formats. And the first technical session will be on 24th of August this month. So we will communicate with you on how you can participate in that technical session. So, and remember, the whole idea here is that you do not have to be a geographer to participate in the map competition. You just really need to have a passion of creating and utilizing maps and we'll share with you some of the ways in which you can participate in that. So the last presentation will come from my colleague, David. David will talk about the Geo Innovation Hub. We call it the Geo Hub, and how it can support the various entries that will be outstanding, and you know, how can we take up some of the ideas that we'll have identified that they need to be supported by not just within the competition, but perhaps beyond the competition. Over to you, David.
Thank you so much, Ngugi, and thank you for this brilliant idea of bringing quite a number of people across the globe to talk about ways in which we can be able to use some of the data that we have in order to solve some of the problems that are currently facing the country and the world. So I'll just like to give a brief overview of what GeoHub is all about in relation to this particular item that we'd like to tackle. Back in 2020, through the Director General, we launched a GeoHub Africa, and over time we've been looking for best ways in which we can bring in ideas in order to incubate them into fruition. And this seems like a very good launch where this particular platform or this particular space will have an opportunity to showcase some of the ideas that are coming out across the world. So after that, we've been having, let me just give some background. We have numerous problems. Currently, we've been having issues related to desert locusts. We are having issues related to drought. Currently, the Horn of Africa is probably experiencing the worst sort of drought. We've been having a few years rising lakes along the Rift Valley and so many other problems. There are solutions to those particular problems, but they do not have a place where they can be grown, where they can be given an opportunity to be showcased to the world. So that led to the idea of having a Geo Hub. It's an innovation, incubation, and mentorship space where people of variety from all walks of life can come in and be able to incubate some of the ideas that they have to make them be able to solve our societal problems. So over time, ways we can bring in, and thank you so much again, Ngugi, for bringing me up this particular opportunity, because we're going to have so many creative ideas from all over the member states that we're currently working with under the BioPharma project. We are going to evaluate. And I like to say there is no bad idea, or there is no any creative idea that will be trashed out. I like just to point out all the ideas whose time has not come will be given an opportunity under a different sort of an angle, where we'll sit together with the innovator or the person who has come up with that particular idea to listen to what exactly they wanted to give out at that particular time. Then together we can be able to incubate them. We can mentor them to make sure that whatever they have reaches the desired market that they particularly wanted. Just to solve problems that we're currently having, I'd like to point again that thank you again for bringing in the issue of a reward, because rewards normally trigger our minds to think a little bit differently. And like what the Steve guy, the Apple owner said, anyone who thinks differently deserves to be rewarded. And I like to say your rewards will not only be now, probably some of the good ideas that will come will be able to solve so many other problems later in the future. I'll just like to add again, another place that we like to, some of the other things that we like to be doing, will be having a course that is the Geo AI course, which is ready to be launched. I've just also communicated to my director who is in charge of capacity development to announce that particular course. It's related to Google Earth Engine, and we're looking forward to expressing or showcasing some of the best ways in which we can use the Earth observation data to solve myriad of other problems that we have across. So please look out for this particular course in September, and we hope to launch it together with you as we utilize some of the data sets. Probably it will give you more ideas on how to win the competition. Hope to see the ripple effect of this particular competition spiraling to several other ways in which we can continue working together into the future and making GeoHub and maybe some of these problems, to solve some of these problems. Ngugi, I'd like to end it at this particular point, but let me just mention again at the incubation space, innovation space, the mentorship space, it's about utilizing the geo ideas to solve the societal problems that we currently have. And this is a very good initiative that really falls within the GeoHub idea. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, David. I think we are coming to the end of our online launch. We have definitely heard from the various partners a bit of what the competition is all about and the platform that we shall be using. I would want to thank everybody for attending. We'll not stop here. We'll definitely continue engaging. It's a 4-month competition. So we have just done the online launch today and we'll continue engaging. I would like to really give special thanks to the Biopharma, GMS and Africa and OFESA projects for supporting this initiative. The last thing I want to mention is that we shall be having the annual RCMRD International Conference from 6th to 8th of September. So in case you are interested in participating in this conference that will be held physically at RCMRD, please register and you can come and you network and learn from the various people that we have. Other than that, I would like us to bring this launch to an end. Thank you very much, and we hope we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, and once again, thank you for attending. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Happy mapping, everybody.